One strike away. Hader to Freeman. He struck him out! For the first time in 24 years, the San Diego Padres are headed to the National League Championship Series.
You know what? Let's call it exactly what it is. It was a horrible night for the Dodger franchise and Dodger fans as they were eliminated from the postseason last night by the Padres. Dodgers were leading Game 4, 3-0 last night, only to watch the Padres rally and score 5 in the bottom of the 7th and beat the Dodgers 5-3. We were all stunned, including the players. Our Kyle Kraska was down in San Diego and was in the Dodger clubhouse afterwards.
Did you see something different with this team? Anyway, the approach or even the layoff. Is there any just a team that was different than the one that won 111 games?
We just didn't hit, man. That's on us, man. It's on the hitter side. We did not execute any type of plan. Didn't do anything. And throughout the season, we did. So, like I said, it sucks, but there's nothing we can do now.
The goal for this team was very clear when the season began. Can you share with us some of what Doc talked to you about when the game was over here in the clubhouse?
Just that we had a great run. I mean, we had a really good team and won 111 games. And just goes to show you, winning in the postseason is not easy. Nobody's going to roll over and just hand you wins. You got to earn it, and we didn't.
We didn't accomplish our goal. There's not really much more you can really say. You grind all year, starting all of these guys in February, me in March, joining this team. We had one goal in mind, and it didn't happen. So just a lot of disappointment right now.
So here are the disappointing numbers to go with that disappointment. 111 wins in the regular season. That's tied for fourth most in Major League Baseball history. All right, over the last 10 seasons, they have won 9 NL West titles. They led Major League Baseball in average and team ERA. And, of course, they were sporting 2 of the best hitters in the game, in Freddie Freeman and Trey Turner. So, I've been thinking a lot about this, Ron. And the only way I can put this is I feel for 18-year-old Dodger fans because from those formative sports years from 8 to 18, a ton of disappointment, a ton of letdown. You have the one championship in the COVID year, and they probably should have 2 or 3 more. It reminds me of my youth as a Rams fan, where the Rams kept coming up short.
Boy.
That's what last night felt to me like when I was a kid for the younger generation of Dodgers fans last night.
Yeah, my youth as a Rams fan was the same way. My father was a coach for the Rams, and I remember those days. It was either Dallas or Minnesota that would get them every single year. And what's interesting about this series now that the Dodgers just went through, it's a 2-2-1 series. And the first thing I thought of was basketball. The old NBA, they had the old 2-3-2 series, which meant if you lost one of those first 2 games at the other guy's place, or won one of those first 2 games at the other guy's place, you essentially had home field.
Yes.
And if you won out, you didn't have to come back. And that's what the Padres did. They won that second game here in L.A., and so now they set themselves up that they didn't have to come back up here. And I kept thinking the whole time, well, they better just close it out down there, because if they come back here, the excitement of Dodger Stadium and the fans are going to do it for them, and that's what they did.
So there's going to be so many questions asked about what went wrong, and here's my take on this. They watched the Padres go into New York and shock the Mets. So then the Dodgers went, oh, great, we don't have to deal with Scherzer. We don't have to deal with DeGrom. We beat the Padres in the regular season 14 out of 19 games.
We're too
We're
relaxed.
good.
Huh?
We're good. You go out in game 1, you take a 5-0 lead, and you win game 1 5-3. So now you're really relaxed. And then all of a sudden, you don't have the edge anymore, and you lose 3 straight.
You can't turn it on like that. I remember coaches telling us, well, this team can play. And that's funny you mentioned this because, with the Rams and Carolina, and everybody's kind of laughing in the back, under their breath at this. You can't turn it on when it's too late in this business. Once you're behind, once you're in trouble, it's over. And I think that's what happened to the Dodgers. I mean, with all the bats that they have, my gosh, they went all silent at the same time.
Yeah, really unbelievable, and I'm sure this is going to be some ongoing stuff in the next couple weeks, talking about the Dodgers. All right, let's take a look at the NFL passing leaders entering Week 6. Josh Allen, not a surprise there, followed by Justin Herbert, Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, Carson Wentz, and one name we don't see up there, though, Ron, is Matthew Stafford. Is this just a little bump in the road here, or with the offensive line situation, is this going to be the road the Rams are going to be on for a while?
It could be, it could be. And like I say, this is a long season, so things could change, and they change fast. But again, it's about getting the offensive line together. And then along with the offensive line, it's easy to talk about the sacks and the interceptions that Matthew has. But another part of this that suffers is your run game. You're not able to run the ball. And we're sitting up here talking about possible trades for Akers and Henderson and, who's running the ball. They don't have Van Jefferson on the field yet, so you don't have a deep threat. You're not able to stretch the field. So there's a lot of different things going on. They're going to do this. Worry about the next game. Worry about the next game. Go into the bye. Get some people healthy. Some people you're not going to get back, but get some people healthy. Maybe they're going to pull a trade off. You remember what they did last year, right? Odell Beckham coming in and Von Miller coming in. The Rams find ways to get creative with personnel, and they're very good with personnel, so they're going to find something.
Yeah, I would think after the bye week, which is next week, they should get Brian Allen back. They should get Van Jefferson back. So, Matthew Stafford's going to get some help. This is what he's done so far in these tough times with multiple offensive lines trying to protect him and create holes for the run game. 134 completions out of 192 attempts, over 1,300 passing yards. But these are the numbers that are ugly right here. 5 touchdowns, Ron, to 7 interceptions. The quarterback rating, it is what it is, 82.4.
So here's what this tells me. Defense, put your big boy pads on and let's go, okay? This is a defense, that allowed 19.3 points per game over the last 3 weeks. That kicked up to 29 points from the first 2 weeks. So they're playing better in that area, even though that Dallas game may not make people feel like that. But what they're not getting is takeaways. 0 takeaways in the last 3 weeks. That's been something that's been big for them in the past and has helped turn things around. So they got to get the takeaways, those explosion plays. This is an explosion team. Once Aaron Donald makes a big play, then Jalen Ramsey jumps on. Then Leonard Floyd goes. And now the offense is going. So it's all tied in, but it's got to start somewhere. So I expect defense, along with special teams, to make some big plays and maybe amend for that fake or block punt they had last week against Dallas. Yeah, they faked one, but they got the punt blocked.
Takeaways, they might have another loss if it wasn't for Jalen Ramsey when we're talking takeaways in that game against
Atlanta.
Here,
right. I mean, you see Atlanta now giving the 49ers all they can handle, which is good for the Rams. So that shows you, any given moment you can get beat. But yeah, those are the type of big plays I'm talking about, and they're going to have to do that today.
Let me ask you this. Run game. Darrell Henderson, Malcolm Brown, Ron Rivers Jr., okay? His dad actually played at Fresno State when I worked in Fresno. So this is amazing for me to see Ron Rivers Jr. suiting up for the Rams today. How do you see these guys in the backfield? Will Carolina respect them, or will they just key on coming after Matthew Stafford today?
I think Sean McVay's going to get the ball out of Matthew Stafford's hands. Okay, we're not going to sit there. He's not going to sit there and let him take hits. So he's going to do that, and it's going to be running back by committee because it has to be. All right, we know what they do with Kupp. They're going to move him around. They're going to run that jet sweep and a couple other things. But he's going to pick up the pace, pick up the tempo, all right, and make Carolina have to move and adjust to things. And I think it's going to be tough on them there. If they play their game, they'll be fine.
Let me ask you real fast here. I always feel like the Rams are better when they're in tempo, but I understand when you've got so many different guys on the offensive line and in the backfield, it's tough to always play that way.
Well, right. And then now that makes the trust factor change. So now the quarterback, you're supposed to have this guy here, but last time I got blindsided, so now he's looking here, and when he's looking here, he's not looking down here at Kupp. So, it's a myriad of things that can go on. So it's just about get one, get the first one, make it a convincing win. Everybody play on all sides, all phases of the ball. and go from there. I'm starting to sound like Sean McVay now. But that's
easy to do.
That's how it is, right? And then get into your bye week, and then we'll worry about games after that later.
Right? All right, coming up on our pregame show, we're going to talk more Rams, of course, and we're going to talk about his favorite receiver, Matthew Stafford's Cooper Kupp, and we're also going to talk about the guy that he's got to get involved, Allen Robinson. Stay with us.